Artists, like scientists, can have a role to play in talking about issues of importance to society. And artists traditionally have had a key role in affecting social change. That's what we're trying to do here with the wetlands.
I'm Karen Sparborough, Curator and Director of the Hive Gallery in Ocean Grove. We are really looking forward to hosting a group exhibition, Flow, Stories from the Wetland, in May-June 2024. This exhibition will then travel onwards to the Arwen Gallery in Canberra.
Okay, across the Bellarine Peninsula we're very lucky to have a range of wetlands, both freshwater and saline wetlands. I'm going to talk mainly about the saline wetlands that we have with three major groups. Firstly, we have what we call seagrasses. These are flowering plants that look like grasses that live under the water. Secondly, we have mangroves, which are tall trees that live around the edge of places like the Barwon Estuary. And the third group of wetlands that we have, coastal wetlands, are salt marshes. These salt marshes comprise a very large number of different species that are all able to cope with the very hostile environment of a very saline soil.
Mangroves from the water is a topic of my PhD research studies at Deakin University. My art practice is involved with kayaking to the mangroves and then painting from a kayak, or videoing from the kayak, or writing, recording. I record the sound, the field sound there, underwater sound, the popping sound of the mangroves. When I go back to studio, I do sculpture, or I keep the watercolors, or I do big, large paintings. The scientist Jacques Cousteau said, "We protect what we love," and I protect what I love through my art. And now I collaborate with the Hive Gallery with this upcoming exhibition.
Hi, I'm Will from Willie Wildlife Sculptures and the Hive Collective, and specialise in bronze sculptures. This particular sculpture here is of a swan working on at the moment in wax, and eventually this will be cast in bronze as well. So I've always just been passionate about Australian wildlife, and that includes anything from big birds like the dancing brolgas and the swans, which are seen in the wetlands, to little willy wagtails, and also looking forward doing more birds which are threatened, and raising awareness of those birds that are found in the wetlands that are endangered.
Hi, I'm Jane Millington. I'm an oil painter with the Hive Collective. I seek to capture the translucency of the water in my artwork by layering glazes one on top of another until I get that depth that reflects the light going through the water. I then add quick gestural brushwork over the top to capture the movement of our waters, their vastness, that when you look out onto them helps put into perspective the problems of our everyday lives.
So right here we're standing on Wadawurrung country, looking out towards Swan Bay, which is chock full of seagrass meadows and amazing salt marshes. So people might have heard of the term blue carbon and wonder what that is. Well, it's actually just referring to the power of our ocean and coastal ecosystems, particularly seagrasses and salt marshes and mangroves, to capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and trap it in the plants themselves, but particularly actually storing it into the ground. And that's where the real power of these blue carbon ecosystems is that muddy, silty sediment that's chock full of carbon, and it's storing carbon at rates 20 to 40 times more than those terrestrial forest ecosystems like the Amazon or the Otways. So they're really powerful at capturing carbon.
Hello, I'm Kirsty Manger of Yum Design Ceramics, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Hive Collective and I'm a ceramic artist making sculptures that celebrate our beautiful wetlands. So I'm working with clay from the Earth's surface, and I'm bringing some of the energy of the Barwon River into the surface of the clay, which I'll layer with slips and glazes to bring it to life. So these are the beginning of my mangrove series, and I'm particularly interested in the pneumatophores, which reveal themselves like fingers as the tide recedes. I'm also interested in the seeds that fall off and they get carried with the tide, but interestingly they end up right back near their parent plant. So it's that whole interconnectedness of nature which is astounding. So my forms have got lots of texture. I've got lino cut prints and the roller prints with layers of slip and lots of layers of glaze to bring that energy of the river to life.
When we're working with the different community groups and schools, we're trying to educate and bring that deeper knowledge about the values of the wetlands. Sometimes it might be litter, nutrients and sediments entering the waterways. And we're able to mitigate those threats by doing revegetation with indigenous species, doing sometimes erosion control and litter mitigation. So I guess what we would love to see is everybody engaged in their local wetlands, understanding the functions and the values, the threats that are facing them, to get involved and to all play a role in protecting, enhancing and loving our local wetlands.
Hi, I'm Linda Gallis and I paint using acrylics, and I love to paint natural scenes, birds and animals, plants, especially around the Bellarine Peninsula. Generally I start with a photograph or an idea, and I work my images from a photograph, and then I add to it. And I like to make things rather quirky and a bit different.
That is the redneck stint, and they're one of the smallest of the migratory shorebirds, and they fly right up to Alaska and beyond to breed each year up into the Arctic Circle. And it's so important to them that they're not disturbed when they're down here, because they've just flown thousands of kilometres, and in fact in their lifetime they fly the distance from here to the moon and back.
That's incredible.
And they change their body parts to be able to fly that distance. They can't glide, they can't land on the water and rest. They have to get through, particularly to the South China Sea, to recuperate as they're on their way. And they have to have enough energy when they get to their breeding grounds to be able to court and breed and copulate and do all the things that they need to do there. So every time we see one down here in their summer feeding trying to recoup their energy, and someone strolls down the beach and disturbs them and they have to take off and fly out to sea, or the dog off a lead disturbs them, it's all reducing their energy and limiting their capacity to breed at the other end. So it's so important for them to have the refuges on the South China Sea and to be undisturbed and allowed to feed down here.
So these birds are found in our wetlands?
Absolutely.
Through art and the gallery, we can't wait to create an inspiring experience for all ages across the community to appreciate.
If my art changes one person's opinion, I've probably succeeded in a lifetime's work.
The earth is my canvas, and the beautiful wetlands provide me with such a great opportunity to share my vision, everything that I see on film with you. Thank you.